The tropics remain somewhat quiet today on the 1st of November 2019. It's day 305 of the year, and on this day we have Subtropical Storm Rebekah in the North Atlantic and Tropical Storm Maha in the North Indian Ocean off the southern coast of India. We also have Cyclone and Kyarr dissipating in the Western Hemisphere. Across the North Atlantic, as obvious, the one storm is the Tropical Storm Rebekah at this time on day 153 of the season there. In the East Pacific, we have nothing active because it's November, and November is a rare month for formation in the East Pacific. It has been really dead for the past few weeks, and that is forecast to continue into November as the season winds down. In the Western Pacific, we have Invest 99W with a 40% chance, as well as 90W with a 10% chance. Models have been hinting on the development of 99W later this week and into the weekend, but not so much for 90W. We also have post-tropical cyclone Maha, which is now a remnant low, moving through Malaysia and moving towards the west and could regenerate in the North Indian Ocean, as models have been anticipating this somewhat. In the North Indian Ocean, Kyarr has looked miserable for the past few days as it's been getting ingested with dry air and sheared to complete death. However, Maha off to its southeast has been flourishing and is intensifying as it parallels the coast of India, but it may struggle as it passes over Kyarr's cold trail later this week into the weekend. In the Southern Hemisphere, to nobody's surprise, it's all quiet here, but the Southern Hemisphere cyclone season is beginning later this month. The main feature tonight is Tropical Storm Maha, now with winds of 70 miles per hour and a pressure of 91 millibars. The storm is forecast to continue off to the northwest generally for the next 36 hours, then begin a turn towards the west. And around 96 hours from now, it will make a turn towards the north, and that's where models really begin to deviate. Some take it west, some take it east. However, the storm is forecast to peak currently, based by our estimates, of winds of 105 miles per hour in around 96 hours or on November the 4th. No CDPS rating is available for this storm, as it is not forecast to make landfall in the next 5 days, and as well there are no watches or warnings in effect for this storm. This is how Maha has been looking for the past few hours. There's been some convection blowing up near the center. This is why we think it's 70 miles per hour. However, there is about 10 to 15 knots of wind shear currently above the storm, maybe even pushing 5 on the northeastern side of the circulation. But this storm is in a favorable environment to strengthen at this point, and it would not surprise me to see this storm peak at Category 2 intensity as forecasted. This is what the North Atlantic has been looking like. You can see the outer edge of Subtropical Storm Rebekah to the northern part of your screen. You can also see a large tropical wave in the MDR region, which is quite surprising for the 1st of November, to be honest. The NHC is giving this, last I checked, a low chance of formation, and most models have been keening on some development of this system, shockingly, and it's quite rare to see a MDR system in the month of November. In the East Pacific, this season has been rather inactive for the past few days. However, there is a tropical wave. You can see the outer edge of it on the eastern side of your screen there. The NHC is giving this a low chance of development, and most models do kill the system off in the next few days. Across the Western Pacific, you can see Invest 90W and 99W, 99W being towards the bottom right, 90W being offshore just in the Philippines. 90W is really hard to be recognized. It was only just detonated earlier today, and 90W is massive by the looks of it, and it has a rather large influence, and most models are indicating of a tropical storm and/or a typhoon across the Western Pacific late this weekend. However, most models do take it off towards the north, so minimal impacts can be felt in the Mariana Islands, as the system is forecast to stay well offshore. This is how season for temperatures are looking. You can see Kyarr's cold trail in the Arabian Sea, and Maha is forecast to pass over that, and that will likely inhibit from reaching a very strong intensity. The North Atlantic is warming up quite nicely. It's doing fairly well for the MDR system, shockingly, and the Southern Hemisphere is beginning to warm up as the cyclone season is pretty much imminent. It will begin on November 30th, which is later this month. This is a look at Cyclone Maha. You can see how miserable Kyarr looks off to its north and west. Maha, on the other hand, has been looking pretty good in the last few hours. It's looking pretty small, but it's lacking convection on the eastern side, probably due to dry air and land interaction. However, there is some wind shear off to the east, and that's probably inhibiting this storm from reaching Category 1 intensity at this time. So these are the names on the naming list. The next name in the Atlantic will be Sebastian. In the East Pacific, if it ever forms, the next name will be Raymond. In the Central Pacific, we're looking out for Hone. In the West Pacific, we're looking out for Halong, and the next name in the North Indian Ocean will be Bulbul. That's all for now. We'll have another tropical weather bulletin tomorrow night.